So I've been deliberating with myself in the back of my mind whether to do this video or not, because on the one hand I'm not really that interested, and at the same time right now in the moment I'm just kind of pissed off. But I think it needs to be said, and it's about Femitheist Divine. And okay, you probably know who Femitheist Divine is. She kind of has like gothic videos where she talks about castrating men to, International Castration Day, I think it was, um, reducing the male population down to 10%. Some of it is parody. I don't know. It's really hard to tell because she doesn't make it very clear, which kind of speaks to um, how she's not a particularly good director, even though she thinks she is. But anyway, the thing that set me off is she retweeted something, and this just got me fuming. A voice for men is a hub of the so-called men's rights movement. Sounds innocent, right? Obviously, every single human being should have rights. The problem is that instead of advocating for anyone's rights, they spread hate and disinformation. That's right, we have to be for everyone's rights, haven't we? So, we can't just specify, like feminism does, on some people's rights, allocate our resources on one neglected group, such as men, which we are. No, we have to do it for everyone. That's ridiculous. Do you have any idea how stupid that sounds? So according to the person who made this poster, we have to advocate for euthanasia. We have to advocate for all these rights that human beings don't have. We're doing bad because we are advocating for one right which isn't being given to men, such as say circumcision, which is against the Human Rights Article 7. And they spread hate and disinformation, insisting that a conspiracy of a multi-billion-dollar feminist hate industry rules the world. I'm not sure about multi-billion dollar, but there is a lot of money involved in it. Men have actually always been oppressed. That's not actually true. We say that men and women have both been oppressed in different ways, and need to take the power back. No, actually, we don't. We don't want to oppress women. We just don't want to be oppressed. That's it. We just want to be treated equally. They purport to also take care about issues such as male homelessness, combat deaths, judicial system injustices, and circumcision. Well, that's not an allegation. That's true. That is. You just have to look on any of the men's rights websites and what we've been doing. I mean, one of my last videos was about circumcision. So that's anyway. Moving on. The reality: promoting harassment, vicious anti-woman rhetoric. Feminism isn't women. Not all women are feminists. Rape apology and making light of female sexual assault and abuse victims, blaming all societal woes on women's rights. Actually, we don't have a problem with women's rights. We just want you to take the fucking responsibilities that goes with the rights, while making a large profit and doing nothing to actually help men with these issues. How much money do you think there is in men's rights? Pretty much nothing, right? Not like say WAVE organization that gets money from the European Union to set up domestic violence shelters so that they can indoctrinate women. We don't get money from the government for that. This misogynist speech is, so why are people speaking out? The misogynist speaker blaming for women, war and nukes, they don't sleep with nice guys. Actually, when have we blamed women for war? That's flooding a college rape hotline with hundreds of false reports? Yes, because they were setting up a kangaroo court. The whole system of reporting rapes was, what's the word I'm looking for? It was a disgraceful situation. A disgraceful situation. It was like something out of It was like something out of the communism. It was one step away from the secret police. So they had every right to flood a college rape hotline, because the men were being reported without the reporter being reported either. Encouraging followers to vow to lie and not vote not guilty in a jury. I don't know if that's true. There's no citation. The well-documented history of doxing people that disagree with them, for example, posting the personal information of a college student, labeling her and sending her death threats, and they didn't even have the right woman. I don't know about that. This quote from AVFM. Oh, look, when it comes to all these, they do it on purpose. The likes of Paul Elam, he does this on purpose. The men's rights movement didn't get anywhere by asking all nice. I mean, look at Warren Farrell. Where did Warren Farrell take the men's rights movement? By What did Warren Farrell do by being nice? Nothing. All he did was get called a rape apologist, and the men's rights movement just kind of fizzled out whilst women started to divorce their husbands in droves and take their kids away. That's what happened. We are using a tactic on purpose. Falsely accusing and labelling innocent men and women of an absurd murderous plot and raising £32,000 from a life from security. No, we don't know the situation yet. Pauline Elam can't talk about the situation because it's a police matter or something. But what I've heard from that is that one of the people from the hotel may have scammed a Voice for Men or some Paul Elam or something. That's what I've heard. But obviously, this is all speculation. You can't put this. You can't. This is libel. You can't put this in there. This was in response to a few discussing peaceful Valley at the venue to not the Archbishop. It's one of many commentators as a leader posted her pictures on personal information. I don't know about this. People to try. Some MRAs are creating fake personalities based on racist and sexist tropes to pose as ridiculous man-hating feminist stereotypes. What you mean, like Femifeus Divine? Yeah, people accused Femifeus Divine of being a MRM, a secret men's rights activist. They used straw feminists to gain sympathy. No, you really are that stupid. And she gives an example of End Father's Day hashtag. Look, we don't know. People say that. I've heard people say that End Father's Day was some sort of joke or something. I haven't actually found any evidence of that. I haven't found any evidence that it's a mockery at all. I know here's the kicker. But don't men need a place to go for help when needed? Absolutely. In spite of their allegations, protesting their hate does not equal hating men. Try telling that to Liz Kelly, who retweeted a tweet a few months ago saying, which was a tweet saying that those people who challenge feminism are just misogynist. This is Liz Kelly, and she was one of those people who did that rape survey that Femifeus Divine quoted in one of her blogs, and she's a fanatic. And so, anyway, it's just consistency here. Anyway, in spite of the allegation, processing the hate does not equal hating men, or any men disagreeing with them are, as they say, manginas, betrayers of men. No, we call them manginas because they just we call them white knights because they don't have the evidence. They don't have the evidence. Instead, they just charge in and help a woman because she's a woman. Not because she just so happens to be a woman, but because she is a woman. This is clearly a basic manipulation of tactic. Oh, because feminists don't do any of the same things. You are putting us to such a ridiculously high standard, an impossible high standard. According to Femifeus Divine, any movement cannot get off the ground because if you're like, say, Paul Elam, and you use some sort of language, inflammatory language, in order to gain funds, because believe it or not, Femifeus Divine, movements need money. So if anyone does that, then the movement has to just be dissolved, because that's it. Well, of course, except for feminists, of course, because Femifeus Divine gives an exception to feminists, or what she calls, what does she call it? Sensible feminists. Of course, she doesn't give the men's rights movement any of the same leeway, no. Instead of trying to remove other people's rights and resources, we should be working together to make sure everyone gets the help they need. In other words, we're onto it, men. Just leave it to feminists, they'll get onto it eventually. There are many real non-misogynistic resources available to address serious issues. Yes, and they're not fucking doing anything. You really think these links... I've never heard of these links. Who is Male Survivor? Who's 1 in 6? What's RAINN? Where's SAFE? Or voicemail? Notice that she doesn't even mention cafe. You know, who the fuck are these movements? Nobody fucking knows. And the reason why you're putting these links is basically to say, you're fucked. If your movement grows any larger, we're just going to denounce it and say you can't have that movement anymore. This is what it basically comes down to. Thanks for listening. Pissed off though. Oh, and one of the sources she cites comes from Sale Polanyi, for goodness sake.